Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first ever edition of Hawkey TV. We are coming to you live from Studio C, or what's it called for the Fan?
The press box.
The press box here at the Fan, and my first ever guest on Hawkey TV is the great Justin Gaard. Hi, Justin.
It's an honor to be the first guest. I've never been on TV before. This is exciting.
Welcome to the big time. I've never really spent much time on TV either, and so I decided I'd just make my own television show.
It's very Goodwill Hunting of you. It's very Matt Damon, and they couldn't get jobs, so they just wrote a movie they could both be in.
Absolutely.
I'm projecting similar success for you.
I hope so. What do you think of these apples? This is what I'm going to say to people when they finally find out. Actually, I couldn't get us on TV either. This is just on KFN.com, so take what you can get. But again, the worst produced, lowest budget television show on the internet. And our Ed McManus meat sauce, who's back there. Apparently we both look horny, Justin. He'll be doing that kind of thing all throughout the show. We have a special musical guest in this, our first edition of Hawkey TV, a 3-segment show. And the first segment, we kind of want to get to know JG, Justin Gaard. We kind of want to get to know you. Not only just that you look horny, but also want to get to know you as an individual. We know you on the highly touted, wildly successful Bumper to Bumper with Dan Barrero show. But where were you born?
Have we started?
Yeah, we're on. We're actually on the air right now.
We are.
This is television. This is how it's done in big time television. So get comfortable.
I got it. Yeah.
Get comfortable.
Guys,
if you would.
Is this mine?
Absolutely. Okay. It looks like it possibly is, yeah. Tell me about Gaardsy. Where were you born?
I was born at Abbott Northwestern Hospital, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And lived in Minneapolis until I was about 7. And then my parents decided that they wanted to go to the suburbs, so we moved to Edina when I was about 7 years old.
So you truly are a cake eater.
I am, yeah. I grew up, my most formidable moments, were in Edina. So I lived the rough life on the streets of Minneapolis until I was about 7, but then we moved on up.
Brothers and sisters?
2 sisters, yeah. I'm the oldest, so I think one of them's 27 and one of them's 22. So
really?
I paved the way. I got in trouble in high school and in middle school so that my sisters could do stuff that I never got to.
Right. So how old are you, by the way?
I am 29.
You're 29.
Yeah, I'm almost 30. I turned 30 in like 6 months.
So was there the regular things in the Gaardsy household where little sister comes along, you beat her up, you didn't like her, and then really little sister comes along, she's the favorite, she gets away with everything?
That's exactly right. It's almost like you've seen the home videos. Yeah. My middle sister and I traumatized her. I like to say I toughened her up.
Right.
I mean, she's probably the toughest of the Gaard children because I beat her frequently, physically and emotionally. Sure. And then the little one has definitely been babied the whole way. Not an ounce of toughness in the little one.
Right. Probably not going to amount to anything.
No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
I wouldn't think so.
Justin Gaard went to what school?
I went to Edina High School.
Edina High School.
Class of 2001.
Really?
Had the 10-year reunion last fall. And reunions these days don't matter because you talk to everybody that you want to talk to anyway. It's so Facebook, easy now. Right, basically just an excuse to get drunk with your buddies.
Yeah.
That's what our reunion was.
That was a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
What was it like going to such a wealthy high school?
It was a bit of an arms race. I was kind of an outcast early on because I had a Toyota Camry as my first car.
Lucky.
Yeah. I had a Toyota Camry, 94.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. It was great. But I wasn't allowed to park in the main parking lot. I had to park, kind of the auxiliary. It was down the hill. If you're ever on Crosstown 62,
I know
going west, and the high school is on your left there. I actually had to park down the hill
with the help.
Exactly.
With the lunch ladies.
I did, and then they'd have like a shuttle bus to come and pick us up. But so it was a bit of an arms race. I mean, it was nice because it gave me something to shoot for, and I drive a Honda Accord now, so I think I've probably moved up in that aspect.
Now let's talk about the most traumatic part of your childhood. I know right before high school, your mom and dad both died in a car crash.
It was really tough.
Is that not true?
Yeah. I didn't think we were going to go here.
Actually, I don't think that's true.
No, it's not.
Your mom and dad are fine.
They're both alive. Yeah, they're both, but for better or worse, they're both alive.
Lunch ladies wail is what he just wrote. And they do.
This whiteboard was a bad idea.
Hey, it probably was. But I doubt they can read it. That's why I keep reading it, because he's writing in green, and I'm not sure you can see it. But let me ask you about school lunch at Edina.
Oh, it was great.
It was like sushi and stuff?
It was, you could, actually, the concept of 7 Steakhouse started in the cafeteria.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
We started it there, and they tested it out on us. And then as we grew up and we got older and got money, then they just brought it to downtown. So, if you ever go to 7, that started And Fogo de Chao. I know you love that place.
Fogo de Chao.
That's where the button was always green because those are Edina's colors. So they would just come and slice it, and you could get whatever you want. Yeah, obesity is a problem at Edina High School now.
It is, yeah.
I'm not really sure if the two are connected.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah, school lunches were okay. Actually, my favorite day was Beefy Nacho Day, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Beefy Nacho Day.
Yeah, the whiteboard's coming out now. Yeah. That was my favorite, Beefy Nacho Day, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
And depending on who was in charge of making the beefy nachos, you knew if it was going to be good or not. There was one of Mrs. Dodge always made really good beefy nachos.
So you knew the lunch lady's names?
Oh, yeah.
You parked by him.
Yeah, I parked by him.
Right,
so we actually ride share. We carpool. So we got to talk about what we were going to make that day, and she was they were brilliant. So
let's talk about the real thing that shaped Justin Gaard, though, and that's tennis.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'm on the periphery. I'm usually just getting up from my nap when you're on the air. And, of course, I was sleeping when you were on with Paul Allen. Super beefy nachos kick ass. They really do.
They do. They will.
Yeah, they really do. But at one point, you became a tennis stud. I don't think there's any other way to put it. When were you introduced to tennis and how?
Well, the first time I was introduced to tennis, I was about 4 years old.
Wow.
And my dad took me out to some lessons. It's a Lifetime in Eden Prairie now, but it used to be called Flagship.
Okay.
And I was the only one in the tennis class that didn't have a friend, so I didn't want to play anymore.
Right.
So my dad, I still remember, it's my earliest memory, the tennis pro told my dad that I wasn't ready for lessons yet. And so we peeled out of the Flagship parking lot.
Really?
I remember, and my dad was really upset with me. I'd like to talk to that tennis pro now, though, and ask him who's ready for tennis lessons.
Absolutely.
But that was the first time I was introduced to it.
Okay.
But I didn't really start playing until I was about 9 years old.
Were you immediately good?
I was immediately average.
Right.
And then you kind of learn in Edina how to be good.
No kidding.
And you have like 9 private coaches and your choice of country clubs to play at, really just by living there.
Sure,
so you're almost
right.
forced to be good at tennis.
That
so
makes sense.
really it's nothing that I did personally because you have to be good if you want to be accepted in the community.
You have to be good at something.
You have to be good at something, tennis or golf.
Tennis
and
or golf,
I didn't have the patience for golf. Or the pants.
Right.
So I just had shorts.
Right.
Yeah. So
you didn't
I
wear pants at all.
No.
Not
Depending on who was, if the cheerleaders were there.
Yeah.
But so tennis was what I had to do, to make it out of Edina.
Yeah, right. And you made it out of the
I'm a survivor. Yeah.
Absolutely. Seriously though, when did you start being good?
About 15 probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you won how many state titles?
2.
You won 2 state titles in tennis.
Junior and senior year of high school.
Wow. So you started being pretty good at 15.
Yeah, probably that was when things started to go. I had a pretty good coach, couple of good coaches at that time actually, and they kind of got my mind right.
What was the best part of your game?
The best part of my game? Probably that I was, believe it or not,
I believe it,
actually a little bit more athletic than most tennis players because I also played below average point guard for Edina High School's basketball team.
2-sport athlete.
5'9", so obviously what do you think of basketball player?
When
you look at me, you think of basketball
Absolutely,
player.
Yeah.
And so I was actually probably a little bit more athletic than most tennis players who aren't necessarily always that athletic.
Sure.
So that worked in my favor.
Right. So you go traveling around the country playing tennis?
That was the best part.
Really?
Yeah, you get to see, you go to Florida, you go to Louisiana, California.
On a traveling team or something?
No, just for tournaments,
oh, okay.
National tournaments.
Right.
I remember going to D.C., South Carolina. I was pretty lucky.
Right.
You get to see a lot, like you now, because you're a big shot, country music star.
Yeah,
you get to tour
Club,
and see all kinds of Rocket Club, if you've heard of them.
Yeah, right.
You get to see all these parts of the country, so.
Hot babes play tennis.
That's actually
Is that
very
true.
Yes.
And the little skirts.
That's very accurate.
Did you get a lot of action by playing tennis?
It depended on if I would won or lost.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so at some point during your youth, during the midst of your 2 state titles, did you think you might go pro? Did you think this was how you're going to support yourself, or were you never that good?
I don't think no. No.
You never believed that?
No, I never believed that.
Really?
I
Not even a little part of you thought maybe someday I'm going to be a
Well, you played.
millionaire.
No, I don't think so. That was a long time ago now. I don't remember, really, to be honest with you. And I drank heavily during those times.
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't really take it that seriously?
No. I don't remember if I ever had pro aspect. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to get a college scholarship. That was kind of the biggest goal.
And that's perfect because you did go to college. You went to Iowa. Why?
My family was from there. I had been growing up going to Iowa stuff. I really got along well with the coaching staff down there. And, I felt pretty comfortable. I had a good scholarship offer to go down there, and it was fun. Got to play in the Big Ten, and that was kind of the biggest reasons.
Right.
I felt like they wanted me down there more than some other places, so that's why I went there.
There are other tennis teams in the Big Ten. I've never heard of Big Ten tennis.
There are a couple, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They actually, I think, have all 12. because now we have 12 teams. So, yeah, I was it was Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Iowa. Those were my final 3, and
really?
I decided to be a Hawkeye. Yeah.
Really? And very competitive? Did you do well? I don't know anything about
Well, I played a year and a half.
Okay.
And then we'll get later in the interview. I know we'll dive in to the rise before the fall.
The heart broke.
Yeah, basically.
Drugs?
So
No?
maybe all, yeah.
Maybe
Who
really?
knows? Yeah.
Right.
I know, it's kind of a behind the music here, but
Understood.
yeah, it was I played my freshman year, which not a lot of freshmen do. So
okay.
I was in the lineup, got to travel. I was about 500 as a freshman, played number 1 doubles and 4 and 5 singles, and it was a blast. Yeah, I wish I played all 4 years, but
we got time now before we go to our first break. What happened? Why didn't you?
How long do we have?
We have as long as you need, JG.
We don't have a hard break or anything?
I don't think we have any kind of hard anything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, except for meat sauce.
Except for
sauce. Does, yeah.
Except for sauce back there.
Uh-huh.
It was a let's just say I lost my way a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I say I lost my way
goodness.
with a couple of things. Yeah, school was bad, girls were bad, I lost my way a little bit, and I needed to reevaluate, and that's why I ended up leaving after a year and a half.
Now let's talk about this. Did you leave the university? I mean, you left.
I did, yeah. I
really?
packed up, yeah, after a semester sophomore year, December.
I need more details than just things happened.
Bad grades, wasn't
really?
doing well in school. Yeah,
would you classify yourself as a dumbass? I mean,
I don't think
happened?
I'm a dumbass. No, I don't think I am. I mean, I know I've been called that by my family, most importantly.
So you literally had problems in school?
I did. I did. Was not a good student.
Was it the drinking and the staying out late, or did you just not care?
That's a good question. I think it was a combination of all things. I don't think it was the drinking so much.
Right.
I just think it was, I don't know.
I have this theory because of some people that I've known who've played major college sports, especially if you start as young as you did playing tennis. I think you probably just get sick of playing tennis after a while, don't you?
You get a little burned out. I think my biggest problem was my whole goals were to win the state tournament,
right?
Get a college scholarship.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't have any goals after that.
After
that, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
After that, I said, well, I've already done this. I've got the scholarship. I'm playing, and I had a hard time setting the next goals and finding the right plan to reach those goals.
How long did it take your parents to forgive you for that?
My father still hasn't.
Seriously?
I don't think. We actually don't speak. We haven't spoken.
No,
I get a card on Christmas every once in a while.
Yeah, $5 bill.
Well, it just says, "Don't come home for
right?
Christmas." Yeah.
Yeah. All seriousness, how long did was it tough?
It didn't take that long. I think it was tough on them, but it didn't take that long. No,
right.
They were pretty supportive of me.
Well, now I want to know, when we come back from our first break here, what do you do next? You get out of school, you're done, your tennis dreams are over. Somehow you find your way from Iowa to the great KFAN and big time sports radio. So we'll find out more about that when we come back to the first edition ever of Hawk TV with Justin Gaard. My name is Chris Hawkey.